Greetings and welcome to episode 14 of the Q Podcast, a podcast where the gathering of friends weigh in on geek passion topics. Today is July 19th, 2015, and my name is Ben freeBrunch Thomas. Joining me today is Patrick, the Filipino Monsoon Figueroa. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Bringing back an oldie but a goodie.
That's what I yell every time I try to make a basket in basketball. By every time, I mean that one time I was on the court.
It's the equivalent of white chocolate from Along Came Polly.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to make more Along Came Polly references on this show.
And now I'm sad because Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, well, we also got Christian Sea Monkey Elariaga.
What up?
What's up, man?
Technical difficulties suck.
Technical difficulties do suck. They kind of put you on edge, like it could go wrong at any second.
Any second.
You just feel guilty if it's your fault. I feel guilty when my mic acts up, like last week.
Imagine how hard it is to produce a real show. Like, we have to plug mics in and Skype, but, like, I was watching Evo today, and they're, jumping between cameras. They got, commentators on the floor and in the booth. They got, different, monitors that they're flipping between. The production value just is crazy.
Yeah. Their mics are more than just USB ports.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
They got
Super
mixers plugged into mixers.
For sure.
We'll get there. I give it a couple weeks. We'll be right in it. All right. Well, let's jump into last week in what we messed around with. I actually want you, Patrick, to start with Jurassic World because that's
so good.
That's exciting. Oh, you saw it too, Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Patrick has a different
He has a
view.
different opinion.
I have a different opinion.
Let's go with the bad news first.
I did not like it.
And you love Chris Pratt.
I thought I did, but I don't know if... I didn't like him in this one. I did not like him. I don't know if he just... didn't his charm was just wasted on me. I was like, I'm not buying.
It was the role for sure. The
it's just
serious cowboy kind of role.
It's just not as adorable or endearing as Andy Dwyer or even Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
Did they have did they write jokes for him or was it?
They
all...
did. It was his Chris Pratt shtick. I mean, I hate to say that he was his typecast, but he was his typecast, but this time it just wasn't charming enough for me. And his writing was just god-awful, too. Christian, do you remember that last line in the movie?
For survival.
For survival. God fucking damn it. Oh my god, it was awful.
Man, because people had problems with that movie, I know, but I didn't think that Chris Pratt was one of them. I think people thought the ending was a little bit predictable. They thought that it was a little bit too formulaic. I didn't know that. I don't know if people. I guess it could be all the above.
There's really only one thing that could go wrong in a Jurassic Park movie, and it's that the dinosaurs get loose.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know what else you expect from it.
That's true.
I like the general premise. It focuses as Jurassic Park or Jurassic World as a fully functioning park, which is a really cool concept. And it goes into how some of the problems are with amusement parks, how they need bigger and better attractions constantly. They need corporate sponsors, they need to sell it to investors, new attractions, because it's not going to run itself. And it kind of just escalated into, or at least it set the precedence of escalating into, well, you asked for bigger and badder, but you didn't really know what you were asking for, and look what fucking happened.
Was that could that be social commentary at all?
And I think it was, and honestly did. And after reading the trivia, it did mention that it was trying to go for that. But that was only the first 20 minutes, and then after that, it was just
action sequence,
trying to run.
Yeah.
But
the entire movie was nothing but running, to be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, what I liked most about the movie was how many callbacks to the original Jurassic Park there were.
That's exactly why I liked it.
Right. But the problem is, that doesn't make it a great movie. That just makes me want to watch Jurassic Park 1.
Yeah, it makes you nostalgic for it.
And I noticed
bringing up. Oh well, never mind. That's a spoiler. I'll leave that alone.
Well, you're right. And so what it does is, and I didn't catch all of them, but if you read through the IMDb trivia, you'll like see even more. But there are so many callbacks to Malcolm, or Jeff Goldblum's Malcolm, to the old park, to and like I said, I'm not gonna like specifically say for spoilers, but there's a lot of really cool moments when you see it. You just feel a wave of nostalgia, but that doesn't mean the movie's good.
Did Jeff Goldblum? Jeff Goldblum's character never died, right?
No.
So, but he wasn't in this movie.
No.
Like, is the timeline, was it such that they could have potentially had some?
It's only like 20 years.
Okay.
It's been about 20 years.
At the most.
So they couldn't have had like I felt like they could have done like a Spock moment from Star Trek where they bring back the original, like for a cameo. If you're gonna,
they could have. They really could have.
They could have.
But I don't know. I think that's a little too much on the nostalgia, considering what the entirety of the movie had.
You almost liked it better because like you didn't see them. Because they reference the old park a lot, because they're like, oh yeah, that place was like, the frontier and all this, and they hold it up to like this. That shit doesn't happen anymore.
No,
that's the Wild West.
Yeah, yep. Like it's just like a not mythos, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, like higher than thou.
I think it was really cool though. Like you said, the nostalgia factor. Like, I mean, I guess it's not so much of a spoiler, but you did see like that hologram of the dinosaur from the original Jurassic Park that killed the fat guy.
Right.
I can't remember what
Newman?
that was, the one with the frills.
The Dilophosaurus, yeah. Newman.
Yeah, so that was really cool. I think that was also one of those throwbacks because it did do the whole hissing.
That is cool. That was like a haunting scene too. That's a really famous scene.
I will say the two characters I liked were Jake Johnson's character from New Girl. He's what's the Mark Duplass movie with Aubrey Plaza?
Safety Not Guaranteed. Yeah.
He was like Aubrey Plaza's boss. You know who I'm talking about, Ben?
Yeah, I think I know the actor that you're talking about. Yeah.
So he was really good in it. And then I also like Bryce Dallas Howard's character.
We were talking about the scientist, right? Or not the scientist, the guy who was running the tech.
Just the control room guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was good. As comedic relief.
That was pretty funny towards the end.
Right. It was a good scene.
Bryce Dallas Howard is, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, Bryce Dallas Howard, I thought was really probably the best written character. She's the only one who has like a character arc. Everyone else is kind of just static.
Yeah.
She's just
Tropes.
the most. Yeah, just the best written, I thought, out of them. I liked, and she's pretty, so that can't hurt either.
Is that the name of the lead?
She's really exotic. Like, there's something about her that's like really different.
She looks like Jessica Chastain, but she looks softer than Jessica Chastain. Jessica Chastain kind of scares me.
She's like a Marine.
She's like intimidating. Bryce Dallas Howard has like all of her beauty, and then like I don't know.
There's some really good movies coming out that I wish we had included in our Rotten Tomatoes, because I really want to see Trainwreck. Trainwreck looks really good. I'm a big Amy Schumer fan. We should talk about comedy sometime in this podcast.
Yeah.
And then Southpaw. With Jake Gyllenhaal, like we saw that fighter fight on the night that Mayweather.
Yeah,
they
were talking about that. I think right after the fight.
Yeah, and
his particular fight, I think they're talking about that.
Yeah, and I've seen the previews. Jake Gyllenhaal obviously just looks like a monster, and then they got Rachel McAdams, who I'm a newfound fan of. It looks interesting.
Yeah,
but those should be coming out soon. I want to see some of those. What else we got, Patrick?
I mean, I played. This week's full of disappointments. I played A Matter of Family, which is the first DLC released for Arkham Knight.
Is that the Batgirl?
It's the Batgirl one. I love
Robin,
Batgirl.
Right?
I heard that this one was more substantial than like the Red Hood and the Harley Quinn and Red Hood. I heard were like 15, 20 minutes, and this one was more like an hour.
Yeah, I mean, but that I don't know. Like that was part of pre-ordering it. This is part of the season pass, so I feel like they should be weighted differently. Like more substantial should be a given.
Yeah.
So like now you need to wow me, and this was not the wowing that I wanted.
It was an expensive season pass too. Probably
2 hours, maybe 3 hours, because I went ahead and got all the trophies and all the collectibles for it.
Do you know who?
Just to run through it.
What do you mean?
I think it's
without worrying about completion.
I heard it was an
probably
hour.
an hour and a half or two.
Yeah. Do you hear who made this? The
Yeah,
background?
it was
The Origin team.
yeah, it's the Origin team.
Something Montreal or
Yeah, Rocksteady Montreal.
or no, it's not. They're not affiliated with Rocksteady, but I
Okay.
can't remember the name.
Oh, Warner Bros. Montreal.
Yeah. So
It was.
I mean, I think that like they're gonna have a lot of work to do to live up to the like they're selling that season pass on like promises right now. Like people just don't know what they're buying,
Right.
which is like kind of a weird strategy. Because it's like people are going to be buying season passes when the game releases. Like that's when if you don't announce a season pass while people are still in the frenzy of playing the game, they're probably not going to sell as many.
It's just gonna fall off.
Yeah, and it feels like they pigeonholed themselves into a situation where they're like, oh crap, we need a season pass, but they don't know what that season pass is going to be yet.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little bit more planned out when I read about like really what they're promising are various skins and new tracks and new yeah.
As someone this is probably my first season pass I've ever ordered. I'm learning the hard way. I'm learning very saltily, and I understand like you can easily say like that's a bad idea from the distance, and then maybe that's just because y'all have more rationale than I do.
I mean,
But
obviously, I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah, no, I'm having a really bad salty taste in my mouth because I enjoyed the Game of the Year editions for like Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight. I just thought like this is gonna be like the Game of the Year edition.
Mm-hmm.
Like just getting the season pass, that's like my way to get the Game of the Year edition, and just getting it like this doesn't feel right.
Like you can get the season pass at any time too, right?
I think so.
Like you can wait to see what DLC they announce or what they release, and then buy it at a later date.
I'm sure you could.
And I'm confused.
I don't see why it would go up in price for whatever reason.
Yeah, and I'm confused on like the value proposition as well, because this DLC was something like $7 if you bought it individually.
Yeah.
So, like, if I could just buy at least that story DLC, they might release a bunch of skins and charge $7. Like, it might even be a better route to just pick and choose which DLC gets reviewed well and end up paying like $20 instead of like the season pass.
I agree. I very much agree with that.
If you buy every DLC as it comes out, you might end up paying like $50, maybe like $10 more, but at least you have the option to skip things that end up not being so good, and at least, or maybe you fizzle out on the game. Like I don't think you're gonna fizzle out on Batman, but other people are.
Right. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm real salty about it, and I think they really need to win me over for me to turn around on this game. I don't know.
Yeah, that's too bad. Let's move on.
It's weird seeing how that went, right? Because pre-release, the excitement and the hype was just absolutely through the roof. But now that you've actually gotten your hands on it, our resident Batman expert,
right?
I don't know, just watching your perspective change is it's disheartening.
It is. It's sad.
Yeah.
Let's cry, guys.
I know.
Let's talk about League.
Like, I just hate seeing people get let down when something they really, really wanted is just like.
I want to end on one high note though. For what I did, I watched this animated. We talked about DC last week. I watched another DC animated movie that just got released, Justice League: Gods and Men. It's set in a parallel universe where Superman is not, Jor-El is not Superman's dad. Superman is like an alternative Superman who is raised by like a Mexican family. Batman is like a vampire, and Wonder Woman is like an actual god. So and, like, they don't give a fuck. They have a Justice League on Earth, but they like kill people.
This sounds awesome, but why even like call them Superman? Like, do they?
I think because it's like.
Is it just a parody? Or?
It almost is, because like the people in the universe, they're the same people. Like Lex Luthor is there, but they're like weird parallel versions of themselves.
It's like a dream. Kind
of, but it helps you put the story together when you say like Victor Freeze, who's Mr. Freeze in Batman, he's like a good guy, but you're supposed to like know that okay, in this universe he's a good guy, but in the other universe he's bad. But ultimately, I mean, it was a really cool anime. It's made by Bruce Timm, who did Justice League, Batman the Animated Series, like all those classic DC animated shows. He's come back to do this, and it is really good.
He's back.
He's back.
That's
good. Back. Do you want me to take League?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Yeah, so Patrick and I jumped into the Rift, played some League of Legends this weekend. It had been a while since we'd done that. I think we talked about it for a long time. It was funny just how like rusty we were. Especially that first game. Well,
all those last hits.
Yeah.
We tried. We tried Callista for the first time.
Yeah, it's hard to like it's almost like I still was playing with the mindset that I need to keep learning to get better, but like since I don't play enough to like see the fruits of my labor, maybe I should take a different approach, but it was still fun. And learning is actually the fun approach. I finally beat Bloodborne, which was really fun. It was cool. It was almost anticlimactic only because I had stepped away from that game for like a week before I beat it, and I just kind of beat it like real quick. But I mean, that game is a masterpiece.
Complete platinum or just?
I still have to kill one more optional boss to get the platinum, and that's going to require some collaboration from me and Patrick's secret friend.
I mean, she's not. I killed her by myself. She's not that.
Dude, I cannot kill her by myself.
Okay.
Even Kent couldn't kill her with the both of us. I don't know why you guys said that boss was so easy. Like, we couldn't, like, the two of us failed, I don't know, 10 times probably.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But you're still like 20 levels higher than me, I think. Okay. I don't know if that helps, or maybe I just need a different weapon, or I don't know. We'll figure it out later. And then I finally watched some anime, guys.
There we go.
It happened. I'm 8 episodes into Attack on Titan.
Oh my goodness.
First impressions.
I think I had texted you guys in all caps I finished the first episode, because I was like...
I just remember y'all were talking about that specific moment when the mom died. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Ben's been inducted, and
it's
it
a good
goes
start.
crazy.
Well, and like... I wasn't super into it the first episode, and then that huge tragedy happened at the end, and all of a sudden I was invested. I didn't know why. I was like, why am I like shaking right now?
Why do I have feelings?
Why am I so affected by like what just happened? It was it was like crushing. I was like, why is this so crushing?
Yeah.
I took notes, as is my new custom. Which is nice. I'm glad the queue's making me take notes on some of this stuff that I'm like enjoying, because it's helping me kind of like
helps you more enjoy it.
Yeah, and keep your thoughts together and when you reflect on this stuff. But the first note I have is just some of the like technical things. Like in anime, I thought it was going to be like a cartoon where it is always moving. But very often in anime, either through transitions or even just normal like scenes, they just have a still picture and they talk over it, and then they'll pan the picture, which totally caught me off. Yeah, they would just draw a picture of a city and pan the city, but so that's very different from cartoons, which is something that caught my eye. There's like interesting pauses. They will like. I mean, I remember it from Dragon Ball Z where someone would get punched and then they're just like, and then they'll, like, it'll just be quiet for like 2 seconds. They like let things breathe. Like even conversations take very long because they have pauses throughout.
Let me comment on that. I think that goes to, especially with manga adaptations, you'll often see a lot of the scenes in the anime are like, panels in manga.
Yeah.
And so when there is like that still moment where they're talking, it's almost like cut from the manga itself, and it like that moment of breathing is like you're supposed to experience that pause and breath on the page.
Yeah.
So it translates to the anime that way as well.
That makes a shit ton of sense.
And also one of those things to be curious. Ben, did you watch it in native language or did you watch it like dubbed?
Native language.
Okay.
Yep. No, I'm I don't know how to pronounce vehemently, but if I could, that's how against watching dubbed things I am.
Yeah, it gets pretty bad.
I'm vehemently.
I can't say, shit.
Well, you can't say it, so you don't know it.
Interpreted.
Oh,
always say interpreted wrong.
I don't even.
How do you say it?
It's too many EDs. I don't even want to try.
Interpreted.
I don't think it's right. I think it's
interpreted. Intrepid. Nailed it. I got more. I got like 8 more bullets.
Okay.
Epic choir-like music. I mean, I'm sure that show in particular, I feel like probably has better music than. I mean, that music
is really well done.
Yeah, it was of a quality that probably is hard to represent in every anime. You gotta give a shout out to the shimmering eyes. Anime and their like big shimmering eyes is so cheesy. I got like, so when they animated the cities, they would put in real bells, which was so odd to me. Like the whole, like it looks so dumb. I don't know why they made that choice to animate an entire bell tower and then put in a photorealistic bell. I don't know. I think that's kind of part of the fun though. The main character, Aaron, is like out of his mind. he's like literally has like serious problems because he cannot calm down.
Yeah.
And everyone is so emotional. Like people cry a lot. Like they're like someone will say something and they'll recoil and they'll like tremble and they will be sad. Which I'm just talking about Attack on Titan specifically. And when someone sees someone die by a Titan's hand, they just crumble. Like something inside them just breaks and they lose their will to live. And I think what they're trying to do is just give a testament to how hopeless and dire the situation seems. And then, I mean, like, and like instill a sense of fear of the Titans, like especially
right. And it's also kind of one of those weird tragedies of war thing, right? Because I think a lot of the reason a lot of those characters break down is, I guess, to show maybe a form of PTSD in a way.
They're kids, also.
Right. Like especially when it comes to Mikasa and Eren. Well, Mikasa not so much because she never shows emotion.
Mikasa is the exception to everything.
She's terrifying.
She's absolutely terrifying.
But yeah, I sometimes just wanted to be like, all right, guys, like, get the fuck up. Come on. Like, let's go. But, that's what Aaron's for. So cool, yeah. So how many, I heard there's like 26 episodes in the first season?
24.
24? Yeah, I was like talking to my sister's boyfriend and he was like, which anime you're watching? Cause I think he watches a bunch. He was like, nice choice, but I thought it went a little long. And I was like, there's only like 12 episodes. He's like, try doubling that.
Yeah.
Because it's just because I assume a season means something, but I always forget that like British or Asian things.
Because sometimes a season is the entirety of a show.
Yeah.
Things like anime. Like, I think Sword Art is 2-3 seasons, and that's it.
Yeah. Which is so awesome. Like, I hate Americans' way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, normally your seasons will go anywhere between 11 and 12 episodes. That sounds about normal, average, yes. So having something go up into the upwards of 20 plus episodes that means you're doing really, really well.
I gotcha. Very
but
cool.
I think a lot of the reason is also that Attack on Titan is still an ongoing story. So there's quite a bit they actually have yet to cover.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So sometimes they stray away from that. Sometimes well, no, not just that. I'm saying like a comic got killed, for example.
Oh.
They rewrote I imagine the first half, I think you were explaining, Christian, was like kind of close to the manga, and then after that they were like writing their own story to finish it in the next 12 episodes. Even though the manga is still going, and most of those characters I imagine are alive, but maybe not.
I feel like, and I got a situation where I had one of those creepy online moments where, like, I tweeted about Attack on Titan, and then somehow, like, Facebook suggested a post, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
oh my God.
how do you know that I'm watching Attack on Titan. Like, did Netflix tell you? Did Twitter tell you? Like, I was so skeeved by that.
Netflix probably did.
Yeah, damn it, Netflix. Gotta be more careful.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Christian? Did you do anything this last week?
Vacation. Went up to the Blue Ridge Mountains. I was away from technology. Although before that, Blade and Soul, which is an MMO that's coming to the West, which is one of the more popular MMOs in the Asian scene right now. I was able to get onto a private server for it and start playing it around, which is really good.
So, is it a newer MMO?
It's been around for a while, but we, like, NCSoft, the company that did Guild Wars, took over the project, and they're doing all of the translation, they're redoing all the dialogue, they're changing up a lot of elements of the game that work in the East that don't transfer so well over here. Like, in Korea, especially, I think, it's all about microtransactions. Like, everything.
Yikes.
And in all those Asian countries, it's pay to win.
Yeah.
Any MMO.
I know in China they don't play a game unless it's free.
Right.
I mean, that is probably a vast stereotype that is by no way is true, but I've just heard that.
It's
like,
pay to win environment in MMO scene, especially in Asia right now. So they're removing a lot of those pay to win things and making everything usually purely cosmetic, and then they're porting it over here.
More Western fan friendly.
I'm really excited to see what they'll do because I'm a longtime fan of Guild Wars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was curious. The reason I ask is just because, like, I feel the MMO genres, there's just not many new. Like, I think that WildStar, I don't know anything about MMOs, so I'm probably pretty ignorant in saying this, but it seemed like WildStar was the last big new MMO, so I didn't know if this was, if people still believed in that model or if they were trying to kind of just work with an established property that, it sounds like it's more of an established property that has a fan base and a lore that, is a little bit less of a risk.
Right. There are new MMOs that come out every year. It's just, when it comes to MMOs, unless you're playing a game that really updates and gives you new content on the regular, you're not going to stick with it. And with MMO players, I know a lot generally just tend to max out and go from game to game once they hit the level cap.
Yeah.
So, like, I've done everything I can here. Let's move to the next game.
I guess Elder Scrolls Online just came out, so I don't know why I forgot about that. But yeah.
Right.
A lot of people were disappointed
maybe
with that one,
maybe that speaks to, how much publicity it got.
Yeah.
Being honest.
Not so hot. I remember it got in the Bethesda conference, it just got, like, squashed, like, out of the picture, because they wanted to spend more time talking about Doom and Fallout 4. So with news this week, we had, it kind of just sprung, Evo 2015, which is I should have pulled up the description, but it's the huge fighting tournament. It's almost like the fighting games don't have these as established circuits year rounds as a lot of the other esport games. They have Evo, which is this huge week of massive, I think it was 1,100 players per game. I think that was just the Guilty Gear Xrd tournament. So, these are huge brackets. They're the pinnacle of kind of the fighting esports, events, and it's a blast to watch. I like could not believe how crazy the crowd gets. In League they like go or they cheer when an award gets broken, but people are like they're like people are booing, like they're shouting, they're like just like it's a very rowdy thing to watch. Like the announcers are like losing their shit. They're like punish him. They're like the counter. They're like I can't even believe it. It was nuts. I like the energy. The
People
game
go
is
pretty freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's such a Twitch type of genre that it just lends itself to the craziness. And like I saw a thing posted to Reddit of the greatest comeback in Killer Instinct history, and this guy essentially you can get up in the game and then turtle for the rest of the time to win. So if you have more health, and then you can just turtle and like block everything. So that's what this guy was doing, which is pretty frowned upon, like in the community. It's just not.
Because it's sort of a bitch move, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not honorable. Like fight like a man, quote unquote. Even though I feel like if you said that to someone who like boxed, then they'd be like, "You're playing a fucking video game." But so the guy essentially like broke his turtling, which was just you're not supposed to be able to do that. And the guy had like no health. it was like so incredible to watch, and I had to read the expectations because like obviously on Reddit there's a lot of people who are asking what the hell's going on, and then the people are explaining like what it means to be a good fighting game player and how impossible a situation that he actually did come back from, and how the game design makes you have to make these choices. And it's kind of fun to kind of once a year get into fighting games. It's one of those things that I wish that I enjoyed more. I know you're playing Skullgirls.
It's like soccer.
Yeah,
well, it reminds me of soccer.
FIFA, the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm playing Skullgirls. God, dude, fighting games are on a whole new level. We talked about it last week. Played Injustice. Injustice could probably get pretty complex, but it's not as fast paced as Skullgirls.
Mm-hmm.
And like Marvel vs. Capcom and those kind of games.
Have you taken it online yet?
Oh man,
Not
Marvel
yet.
vs. Capcom.
I have not.
Dude, you gotta jump in the fire, man. You need
I know. I mean, I've been playing some other stuff. I didn't play Skullgirls as much on this back end of the weekend, but
give it a couple of weeks, he'll start playing with a fighting stick, and
yeah, I know, right? No, so like I told you last week, I was still on the training. The training was ridiculously hard because the training is supposed to also teach you how to be super competitive. Like it almost starts you off with training, like how to start those infinity combos going, and how there are, and it was even telling you how to, if you're stuck in an infinity combo, this is what you're supposed to do
to break it.
Right, and it's like I just like mash buttons, but like the game puts this expectation on you that says, okay, so when you get locked, well, one, set up an infinity combo, and then two, if you were gonna get in an infinity combo, this is how you break out of it. But it makes you do it, and like how fast you have to press the buttons, is ridiculously hard, and I can't even imagine, like, because you can't do the same combo. Like you can't throw them up in the air, do like 3 or 4 attacks, bring them back to the ground, and throw them back up the air. You can't do the same 4 attacks in the air, otherwise they'll do the breaker.
Yeah.
So
the games, like every fighting game, that you can't have a fighting game that is less than it has to be at a minimum of 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Like by required, just because of how twitchy and how fast paced those games are. And that blows my mind. Like you can't even have a successful fighting game that is not at a technical expectation just because of how much it demands, like that type of challenge. And I wish that, I don't know, I guess it's just those games just aren't, sometimes they might not be as fun or for people per se, like they're not for me, but I can't believe how well they represent video games in terms of like difficulty. I mean, they're like StarCraft in terms of just the mechanical prowess that you need to have to compete.
Yeah.
It's fun, so I enjoyed watching it, and it's always fun to watch. The 2 games I watched today were Guilty Gear and Mortal Kombat, which are both just 2 like visually stunning games. They're super super cool to see. So that's it for news this week.
I'll do some Skullgirls online this week.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you guys.
I want to see. I feel like you're gonna be crawling back. Just like I can't do it. I mean, it's like I don't know. It sounds stressful. I would not. I would be interested. But yeah, you gotta be okay with like probably just like
getting your ass kicked.
Just putting down the controller and just breathing, just being like, there's nothing I could have done there.
Pretty much.
But yeah. All right. Well, what's your topic this week, Patrick?
Yeah, so I've been wanting to do this topic for a while, and it's not really video game or geek passion related, but it resonates well with me because I'm kind of a neat freak. How do you guys stay organized?
So you're implying that we stay organized, right? I'm just kidding.
I mean, everyone stays organized too. Like, there's that saying, there's order to my chaos. So like, if your room's like a piece of shit, at least you know where everything is, even if it looks like a piece of shit.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's just like, what programs do you use? If you guys use like hard media, things like that. Christian, what do you use to keep yourself organized?
Nowadays, thanks to work, mostly the Microsoft Office suite, like Outlook and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
OneNote? Do you use OneNote?
I did at one point, but I just dropped off and started using the notepad on my phone.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's about it for me, honestly. I mean, I use a lot of Google software. So, like,
Right.
you know, Gmail recently came out with, like, Inbox. Inbox is really good. The Drive,
Is it though?
yeah.
I could not get into Inbox.
Really?
It just...
I don't know, it just seems easier to me.
Does it work?
Swipe through. At a glance, yeah. It's mostly for, you know, your at-a-glance emails. I think Gmail is still more robust for organizing and, you know, checking through your folders. But, I mean, if you're just checking through your emails at a glance, Inbox is definitely better.
It's a little bit more manual, I think, the Gmail side. Not the Inbox does some work for you.
Yeah, it does.
I am like Patrick in that I am a organized freak. Like I just schedule everything on the calendar. I use OneNote, the iPhone Notes app, and Google Drive like obsessively. I leave notes. I pack my lunch for the entire week every Sunday.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
super high level of.
Yeah. Like I love organizing my life. I love having everything ready. Like I know which day I'm gonna do my laundry. I know which day that I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I know which day I'm gonna do yoga. Like it's all. So like I mean on my phone I have like lists of like grocery store, all the restaurants in Atlanta I want to try, notes for this podcast, music I need to listen to. I started doing this thing called a gratitude journal where like you write down one thing every day that you're like thankful for and it's supposed to like make you a happier person. Movies I need to see, books I need to read, recipes that I want to try.
Games
so that's games I need to play.
Yeah.
I don't have that actually, but I think I have that on Google Drive. So that's just like on my phone. And then this is what I'm interested in because I think that Patrick is going to have an alternative to Google Drive, but I've used my Google Drive just for like organizing notes on products I'm working on, stuff for the podcast, like my budget. Like I try to budget my life, in Google Drive and then like keep car records of like all the maintenance that I've had on my car. And then at work, OneNote is essential. I have folders for every project. I have pages for every meeting. But it's like, it's cool because like to me, organizing like productivity software is not like all of our passion topics in that like it's easy to miss something. Like, if the newest movie comes out and gets, like, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes and everyone loves it, it's gonna, it's gonna find its way to you. Like, even though I didn't seek out Bloodborne, if you're interested in the media and you're interested in that stuff, it's hard to miss it. But, like, something like Evernote, I don't know, unless you really are a organization geek, per se, I think that a lot of people don't realize how much they could get help from these types of things. How about you? What do you use?
I live and die by a planner, a handbook planner.
Like handwritten?
A handwritten planner.
Oh shit!
I live and die by it. It is like
do you have a feather
me.
pen that you dip in a quill to write in it?
Ink, right?
Yeah.
It's got like the bookmark little, what's it called, that ribbon. It's got like the ribbon and everything.
Like the placeholder ribbon?
Yeah, just like a place. I mean, it looks like a planner, and that's what it is.
But it's got one of those weird like encyclopedia tabs that you can.
Yeah,
weird
pretty much,
cloth
and then
ribbon.
you can just like open up to where you were. So I live by that and a combination of Evernote, which is like another program. I think it's like OneNote. I've never actually used OneNote, but
it's like OneNote but more robust than I've heard that it's more robust than OneNote.
Right. And like there's a lot of cool features in Evernote. Like you take pictures and it just like automatically gets uploaded to Evernote, and then it's basically like a giant notepad. So like on my Evernote, I've got dates from the 17th to the 14th of next month, all in my Evernote. And like I just manually did it because that's the way I like to do it. And I've got like all my due dates there. But on the same thing, I've got like all my goals, to-do list, buying list, games to finish, daily rules to live by, grocery list.
Do you update your grocery list?
Yeah.
I have a lot of, like, I wish I kept better maintenance of my grocery list. I end up just looking around my apartment right before I go to the grocery store and making the list then. I need to update it as I go, because I do forget things a lot.
Yeah, update it as I go. Because with Evernote, you can use it on, like, all your tablets. I've got, like, 3 devices I'm using. I'm using my phone, my iMac, and my MacBook, and all of those have different functions throughout the day. So normally when I go throughout the day, like with my grocery list, I need to add bananas to my grocery list. I'll do it in my notebook, and then every day I put aside like 30 minutes after I come home, and I just sync the 2 manually, and just keeps my life in order. Like the 2 are always talking to each other, the Evernote program and my planner.
Wait, when you say you sync them, do you have to do anything, or should they do that automatically?
I do it personally by hand, and you can do it other ways. There are ways you can like take pictures and then automatically send it to Evernote, and it'll like show up as a picture. But I like being hands-on and like writing it myself, because then I get to like actually see what's going on.
Wait, but doesn't that mean you're writing it twice?
Yes.
I don't know about your organization solutions.
It keeps me sane.
Yeah, it reminds you.
It reminds me.
I guess you have a question here. How do you keep yourself disciplined? And that would be a way to do it.
It is. It does I keep myself very disciplined by that. Like, these 2 are very tight. They're always talking to each other, and nothing is ever left through the cracks.
Because, I can use my Google Drive app on my phone, and then I don't have to put it in my computer. It's just there.
That's true. The one reason I don't like Google Drive, though, I use Dropbox for those things. Because, like, on Mac and iMac, you can just open up Dropbox through your Finder. So you can just open up the Excel sheet, like an actual Excel sheet, from the Dropbox folder, while in Drive, you have to like download it and then read it.
No, you are incorrect.
Okay.
You have a Finder Google Drive folder that does the exact same thing.
See? Well, I said Dropbox first then.
Yeah, I mean, Dropbox, Google Drive probably stole it from Dropbox, but yeah, Google Drive's had that for years, probably. Okay. But yeah, you just never converted.
Right, and I never had to need to, because Dropbox had always done what I wanted it to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking of the Google Drive app on basically I only thought of Google Drive as the web browser or the phone app, which I didn't really like keeping up with.
Yeah, they've improved it a lot. I'm pretty impressed with Google Drive, just in the way that it kind of stole functionality from Dropbox, it stole functionality from OneNote, and then it kind of invented the whole collaboration thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as tips, the only thing I can think of is like Life Pro tips on Reddit. But I don't like actually search for productivity stuff. Do you guys do that?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to Get Studying. I don't like Get Motivated. It's or Get Discipline's a good one. It's the equivalent of like It's not as our gaming, because Get Motivated is like a picture of the wolf meme. Get Disciplined is like actual tips. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yeah, that's a big difference.
Get Disciplined is really good. Productivity. Our Productivity is a good one too.
Our Productivity. I haven't even checked that one out. I don't really have. I feel like I feel like I would be decent in the military because I am a pretty disciplined person. For some reason, I think that's probably why either we were drawn to engineering or we were taught it through our studies. But I think people who kind of are driven and organized and are often logical people, and then I don't know, I'm talking out of my face now, but it felt right. Like I just kind of clicked when I had to start, when my life got really hectic. It was not a struggle for me to stay disciplined in terms of making sure I got my work done, making sure I took care of myself. Except for social life. To me, when I read a question like, how do you keep yourself disciplined? that's the biggest challenge is maintaining a social life and then taking care of all your shit, like at the same time. Which I think most people just wouldn't care about, like organizing their grocery list or doing their laundry on the same night every week. Like maybe that's that's just like because I'm different, but I think most people just go with the flow. But no, I often find that if I have like a busy weekend with friends, like it takes me like 4 days to recover in terms of like, shit, I didn't go grocery shopping. I gotta pick up my dry cleaning. I gotta, work on the podcast, like, or whatever it is.
Right. I mean, everyone has those moments. Every time I have like a big project, or especially in school, like when a big deadline was coming, my room was a fucking disaster. I mean, Ben, you know, like every time there's a test, I throw all my papers all over the whole apartment as a de-stressor. Like, you've seen it, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, it's pretty Beautiful Mind-esque. It gets it gets very neurotic. Might be the word that I would use.
But like the thing is, like internally, I always feel like, because I legitimately enjoy like cleaning and like getting organized. It's almost therapeutic when I clean up, you know? At least for me. It's sick and it's gross and it's weird, but like I get super messy, but God, I don't know.
Well, it's like, to me it sounds like I would even, like, only I would bring this back to gaming. Like it's a drip of accomplishment. Like in gaming, they set very like measurable challenges, and then you feel like you accomplish something when you finish gaming. Like you feel like it's almost like a psychological thing that when you organize yourself, you get that, like, it's a very measurable goal, and you can complete it, and you've set yourself up. So I think it's kind of like a human psychology thing. It
is, because like that work, it hits the nail on the head. Because like on my Evernote, I've got like today, Sunday. I've got things like cut my nails on my to-do list, but it's been like highlighted out. Like, good, I did that. Sort my mail. Download the latest Witcher patch. Like, I write those out. And, like,
you have download the latest Witcher patch on there?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like, make sure you do that today. But like, those are all things that I could do in like 2 seconds. But I like seeing them visually. I like seeing them crossed off the list.
Yeah. No, I mean, every time I like do my laundry, I like sleep better. I think we're
the exact opposite, because I don't like having a daily to-do list, because when I look at something that's almost completely blank at the beginning of the day as far as things that I have completed, I just feel so much less motivated to go out and do things, because I'm like, God, that's a lot of stuff I've got to do.
I'm pretty sure me and Patrick are like really neurotic and weird. Like that's like I'm pretty sure, like when I think about what we've been saying out loud for like 15 minutes, just the fact that we're having a conversation about how do you stay organized, like I think we just realized that this truly does belong on a nerd and geek podcast.
I really wanted to talk about it. That's why it was my
topic. I did like, too.
Do you guys use Evernote? Like,
yeah. It's funny to me to hear like that you write out things like download the Witcher patch, because I write down like very specific things about like text this person at this time. It's just like totally stupid.
It's a really slippery slope down to, and I don't know how you guys feel about, but Big Bang Theory Sheldon kind of scheduling your like bathroom times as well.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a slippery slope.
I mean, I do sit in the same part of the couch every day, so there's the writing is on the wall. All right, let's move on before we lose all of our viewers for talking about organization for 20 minutes. Okay, so my topic is also like Patrick's, in that I've been wanting to talk about it for some time now, and I feel weird about this topic because I don't really have anything. Like I don't really know what questions I have or why I'm making this a topic, but my topic is cosplay, and I don't know why. Like it's like maybe because I find it to be one of those, like, I never had, I guess, friends that cosplayed. Like when you're a geek growing up, you don't need anyone's help to be a geek. Like you do your own shit. Like that's kind of what makes it appealing. Like, I mean, whether your thing is music or whether
you go with your own flow.
Yeah, like you can listen to your album, you can play your video game, you can read your comic book, but cosplay is something that is, it was a social thing that I never experienced. I just never had a chance to get entrenched in that culture.
And then MomoCon happened.
Yeah, and MomoCon and just starting to be more interested in that stuff because I don't even know. It's interesting. But I mean, the Wikipedia definition is it's a performance art in which I should bold, not that anyone knows that I'm bolding it, is a performance art. So this is kind of how I interpret it, in which participants called cosplay wears costume and fashion accessories to represent a specific character or idea. So, like I've heard people discuss cosplay before, and there's definitely a distinction between the people that appreciate it as almost like a painter, like someone who enjoys painting things, or Patrick enjoys drawing things, or musicians enjoy creating tunes. Like cosplayers are artists who make costumes, like almost like sculptors or pottery or whatever. Like to me, that's what cosplay is, and that's why I love cosplay, and that's why I'm interested in it. But what I don't really see as cosplay, which is probably intolerant, is just the idea of dressing up for the sake of dressing up. Like I'm not intrigued by almost like treating cosplay at a con like Halloween. I'm more interested to see what people can make, like how people create things, not what people have bought, like to be part of the
and
the
that's
thing.
the huge divide in the cosplay community, right? It's like if you could buy something that's like super well made, and not have to put in that complete, I don't know, hours upon hours of work, because I know people prep their costumes months in advance. I got a friend who's cosplaying at Dragon Con, and she started her costume as soon as last year's Dragon Con was over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they always have that kind of stigma of, well, I made mine, yours was manufactured.
Mm-hmm. Like
so,
that's like the magic of me is making it. Like that to me is what is interesting. I feel like it gets muddled by, especially when I don't think people perceive it. I think people do just think that cosplay is dressing up, not so much the art of it. And it's hard to tell who bought something and who made something because the craftsmanship of the people that are making their own costumes is that good. Have you guys ever cosplayed?
Yes.
Not hardcore.
Well, not hardcore.
Yeah, but it wasn't any, like I didn't go out of my way to make a costume or anything. I just used what I had at my home. But something I will quickly say about what you talked about, when it comes to manufacturing it, like a lot of people, they make money by making these specialty items.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, there's a really cool Red Hood costume with the mask, and there's a guy that he makes it, and it's $200, but he made it himself. This isn't something off a factory machine. So I know it does suck that some guy poured a bunch of his own money and time to make something. But you also have to remember that, at least for some of the more specific stuff, that another guy did get paid for his work to make a specialty item.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point. That's totally legitimate. I didn't think about that at all. When I thought about it in my head, it was like big business, like Peter Pan eye patches and plastic swords that you buy at those pop-up Halloween shops. I'm not thinking about. No, you're right. There definitely probably is not going to be a mass manufactured. Maybe there is a mass-manufactured Nathan Drake costume, but maybe something more obscure,
super specific and weird, and something you're not going to find at Party City.
Yeah,
anything from the Jacob catalog is a Nathan Drake.
And you'll often find it even at the conventions themselves. They're selling their stuff that you can use for next year. There's a bunch of leather shops. Who makes leather anymore?
Right.
I don't know.
Or the people who do their own metalwork. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely stunning.
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people who, do fabrics and stuff that can make those feasible costumes, but, not everyone has access to,
a sewing machine?
Well, what's in the metal shop, you know what I mean?
An anvil and a hammer and,
who can actually go in there?
Furnace,
a blowtorch.
Yeah.
What, did you guys have fun cosplaying? Was that a redeeming, or important part of Dragon Con to you guys, or?
It wasn't so much an important part. I mean, mine was very haphazardly thrown together because literally all it involves is a T-shirt with the words "Camp Half-Blood." But
yeah, I mean, mine was also is just nothing to be proud of. So I didn't feel like I don't know. I wasn't invested in it.
Because I asked that.
It was more of the experience to me. I think it's just something about Dragon Con and being in a specific costume where people recognize you and be like, "Hey."
Yeah.
It's part of the experience when you have, you can connect with people on that basis where it's not like, you're wearing regular clothes but you've got a badge. No one's going to say hey to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as opposed to, you have a costume on, people are going to notice, and you can kind of interact and meet new people that way.
It's all about that
really
moment.
Cool to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you're at a convention, it's the whole game is, do you get my reference?
Right.
And I kind of asked that, like, in the back of my mind, what I'm thinking is, I mean, to me, cosplaying is the ultimate form of people watching. Like, it is just, I mean, conferences are just the ultimate form of people watching, and it's interesting to see, like, I feel like, I don't know if I enjoy reading people. I mean, it's very clear to me that some people cosplay as an excuse to wear really skimpy outfits, for attention that way. It's very easy to see the people that are cosplaying because they are the quote unquote like inspired artists who are, I don't know why I did a quote unquote there. That was silly. They're the inspired artists who really wanted to like transport themselves to that world. There are the people who are wearing cosplay because they're kind of in more of a party mode, like, hey, we're at like a Halloween party. It's, so yeah, I mean, that kind of was what I was thinking in terms of if it was fun for you guys and what, like what that was like. I don't, I guess, have any kind of developed opinion. I would actually, it'd be kind of fun to talk to someone who makes, cosplay, which Christian, you can probably do some field reporting on that and just think like why they, like what the best part of it is to them. Is it the making the costume? Is it all of it? Like it's probably all of it. It's probably like the day that you get to wear it, the build up, like if they, I'm probably way overreading into it, but if they like, if it's their way of connecting to the character or if it actually has nothing to do with that. But yeah, I mean,
I can say based on talking to like my friend who does do her own costumes and just the amount of stuff you see on her Facebook page, it is definitely like, connecting with the characters. And some people can do things where it's not even related to a character. You're just dressing up as something completely out of there,
thematically. Yeah.
So it's just, I think it's more of the, there's something about it, dopamine in your system. I don't know.
Exactly.
You get some kind of chemical reaction in your brain out of it. It's just, it's fun to them. So everybody's got a hobby, I guess, and that's just theirs.
That's why I want to talk about it, because it kind of has a mysteriousness to it. To me, like it's like almost like an egg that, like a shell around the geek culture that people, especially people outside, it just seems very foreign, and it's interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting. But yeah, that's how I really wanted to talk about that. How about you, Christian? What do you got this week?
This is actually on the fly. I thought about this while we were discussing before we started recording. Just when you're out there in the middle of nowhere, maybe, I don't know how relevant this is to you guys, but how do you stay connected with everything when technology is kind of limited? Maybe you have an outage, or go for it.
It reminds me of when I was in Europe last summer during E3, and I did not have a phone plan, so I had no idea what was going on.
What's happening?
I mean, obviously I wasn't thinking about it. I was having a blast in Europe, but it's just, that's what that reminded me of. But did you have something you want to say, Patrick?
I mean, I was just gonna bring it back to my planner. My planner goes with me everywhere. And I just log all my thoughts and notes and things I remember, so I can sync it up later with technology.
In terms of staying connected, when you have to get creative with that, the first thing I think of is like FM radio. So sometimes when I'm in my podcast and I am watching or I'm reading my news sites or Reddit, I kind of lose touch with like the latest news and what like my community as Atlanta is thinking about. And every now and then I'll be like riding in the car with a coworker to lunch or something, and when they turn their car on, they have like the FM radio station or AM radio station that they turn on, and they're talking about like what's going on around Atlanta and just general talk shows. So to me, that's something that is kind of a different experience, like how to stay connected. I mean, radio is like an archaic not archaic. I use stupid words.
It might as well be.
Yeah. Let's be honest, in our generation,
I think people would laugh at me if they heard me call radio archaic. But no, I mean, I think that's an interesting one. Is that, I mean, pretty much wherever you go with your car, even if you don't have cell service, there's a good chance there'll be radio, just because radio waves are broadcasted over huge distances. So and that is a kind of a neat way to stay connected. That and smoke signals. That's all I use. So was it enlightening? Was it fun not to have connection up in the cabin?
It kind of was. I mean, just coming from like a background in technology, I mean, we all have that, where you're on your computer or your phone most of the day.
I can't even go through a grocery line without looking at my phone. It's horrible.
Right. So like going up there, having no service and limited connection to Wi-Fi is kind of, it was nice in a way. And I guess this is just from my perspective, because it was a vacation. It was supposed to be like that. Everyone's supposed to leave work at home. You know, there's nothing there. And there was like a huge stone pit in the backyard of the cabin we were at, where we could just like get a whole bunch of timber that they cut out for us and then start a bonfire. And it was just nice being surrounded by all of that, and kind of, all right, cicadas are annoying as hell. Let's get that out of the way.
Damn, I don't think I've ever had a cicada problem. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Wait, they're not like, they don't bite you, right? They're just loud. They're just really loud.
They're just really loud.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was interesting hearing stuff, and especially the quiet that you never really hear in, like, you know, the urban, suburban parts of Georgia.
Rural? Are you looking for rural? That you never hear in the urban. I see.
Yeah.
No, and something that sounds appealing about that as well is that when you're, like, cut off from technology, you're forced to actually talk to people. Like, I get so frustrated at my lunch table at work because, like, we sit in our cubicles all day. Like, it's pretty isolating and it's not fun. So when I get to lunch, I want to take, like, maximum advantage of that 1 hour, and I want to, like, talk to people. I want to discuss, like, the Iran treaty. I want to discuss the latest SEC Media Day. I don't care what they want to talk about. I just want to talk about it with them because I appreciate that. And everyone is on their fucking phones, like, the entire lunch. And I feel like, and even, like, I went out to the bars last night, and when you're at a bar, people are still, like, checking their Twitter and, like, taking Snapchats. And I feel like if we didn't have access to that technology, if you're up in a cabin, you have no choice but to connect with people. Like, you have to talk to them because that it's not even that you don't want to, it's that you have no distractions. And I wish that that is a negative for technology for me.
Yeah.
I think one of the cooler things as well is that you don't really get to appreciate things until you really see them. And for me, one of those things that I just recently saw were, like, you know, the stars, you know, up there.
Yeah.
What is
when
that?
You don't have any light pollution, right? When you don't have any light pollution around, and you can actually just look up and see stars.
I thought the stars were all gone by now, right?
I don't know, man.
I can't remember the last time I saw the moon or the stars. I mean, I've lived in Midtown for like 4 or 5 years now, and I never look at the sky, and I never listen to, like, nature. Yeah. And I'm gonna go cry now. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I just play my audio on my phone of, like, waterfalls and whatnot. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say I know it says how do you stay connected, but as someone who, I'm not saying I don't like people, but
in so many words.
But I've been thinking of ways of, like, if I didn't have technology and I was by myself, like, what would I do? Because I was just thinking about, okay, so what do I do normally? It's like I draw using a tablet. Fuck.
Dude, you don't need a tablet though.
No, I know, but like that's how I'm so accustomed to it now. But,
yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking of like staying connected. Books.
Yeah, books are awesome.
Way to stay connected with the world, like with what's going on, you know, and not connected with other people, but like how to stay relevant or have something value when you have no technology. Kindle or hard copy. Yeah. I imagine it's similar along those lines.
Thank God for written word.
Right, or that, or even just like your own kind of storytelling. I still like to write occasionally, whether it be like reflective journals. Like, what'd you say you did, Ben?
When we were talking about the gratitude journal?
Stuff like that. I mean, that's a perfect time if you didn't have technology for you just sit and reflect on that. You don't have to do it in your phone.
My gratitude journal is so like uninspired. Like, unarticulate. Like I should treat it more like a journal, but it's like, it has like the typical things like your family and like your education and like your friends, but I have things like mangoes.
Mangoes is a good one.
Mangoes, esports. I have some. Actually, I have stuff.
I'm not judging your superficiality. But...
No, I got like living in a big city, air conditioning. No, this is getting. I'm not gonna read these. Some of these are personal. My tremendous bicep strength. I'm just kidding. But I had something. So I was thinking about. I was like, Patrick Price sees the stars. He's in Baton Rouge. And then I remembered I still want to know if you've seen an alligator yet.
No, fried alligator, but that's about it.
Gosh, like
No, we're planning on going to NOLA in August for a boat what are those called? Airboat tour.
Yeah.
And my friend had previously been there, and he was sending us Snapchats of like they pull up like snakes and gators from the water.
Yeah. See, that's what I just thought Louisiana was. Like, I thought you would be driving, and then you'd just see a gator, like, scurry into the woods.
Baton Rouge? Okay,
like
deer? Okay.
Yeah, exactly like that.
We did see, we were cooking out for Memorial Day. Like, some guys that were cooking next to us found an armadillo.
Yeah.
It's like like that. They were like, do you want it? And we were like, what the fuck is that?
Was it alive?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
But but gators, no.
Are you in, like, the north part of Louisiana?
South.
God, you still haven't seen a gator?
We're an hour from New Orleans.
I know, I guess I just...
But it's an hour, I guess, northwest of New Orleans, but it's not
So how many people around the area actually have that thick Bayou accent?
Oh, fuck, dude, yeah. It's it's here. I'm serious, like...
Because
We're in it.
Maybe...
I'm in it.
I think if you take up golfing, you'll see more gators. Because when I used to go golfing with my grandpa in Florida, and every time you play, you see a gator. They're just like in
All I can think about now is Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, no,
things that bad.
There's a little bit of truth in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I try to live my life by that movie. Just take a slap shot whenever I can.
Whenever you're feeling upset. And Claire from Modern Family will fall in love
Oh
with
my gosh. I remember when I made that connection, I was like, that's crazy.
World has exploded.
We should talk about Adam Sandler movies and our favorite ones. That's a good topic. I'm going to write that down.
That would be a good one. We should do that every once in a while for every... I don't want to say washed up, but like almost sell out. What's the word I'm looking for here? All the above?
Is it that he's washed up, or is it that he's sold out, or is it that we grew up?
I don't.
These are questions
question,
that
man.
could never be answered.
These are deep questions.
Right along with the meaning of life.
What is growing?
Yeah. What is Mr. Deeds? All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Q. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We got new episodes weekly every Monday. We'd love your feedback and opinions wherever we can get them. Drop us a review on iTunes. Check us out at The Fig TV and Free Brunch on YouTube, at Fig_TV, at Sea Monkey.
Yes.
Nailed it. And freebrunch on Twitter.
Wait, you forgot to mention that Sea Monkey spelled with 2 I's. God damn it.
Oh, so close. I got so excited when I didn't, well, there's always next week. Let's take it back. How was Jurassic World, Patrick?
Welcome to episode 14 of the Q Pod.
Okay, well, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Say bye, dudes.
Bye.
Peace.